Okay, we are on the start of day 7 of the Undercover Policing Inquiry, Tranche 3, Phase 2. We are about to hear the live evidence of the undercover police officer, Jason Bishop. Jason Bishop was a undercover special demonstration squad officer who infiltrated the anarchist movement in London, Reclaim the Streets, Earth First, Disarm DSEi, anti-arms trade stuff. He was, according to the chair of the inquiry, Sir John Mitting, his deployment was unremarkable. This led to him only being booked in for 1 day of evidence, which was today. Thankfully, Sir John has seen sense, and we will have Jason Bishop, not his real name, back on Thursday. I'm joined by Chris Bryan of the Undercover Research Group.
Morning. Yeah. So, yep.
What can you tell us about Jason Bishop?
Well, so deployed between 1999 and 2005, straight beginning of 2006. Yeah, just on that briefing, that I don't know if you remember during the preliminary hearings that a number of deployments were labelled unremarkable.
Yes.
By Mitting. We're not really sure what he was seeing then in terms of material. So it did seem like it always seemed to be almost prejudging their deployments. Even back then, before the evidence was actually heard, which seemed a bit odd to us at the time. But anyway, yeah, so Bishop, I think he's first remembered from, I think it's the Islam Disarms protests commemorating the 350th anniversary of the Diggers.
Yes. Stanley and all that.
Yeah. So after that...
When Adam delved and Eve span, who was then the gentleman?
Very, very good, Tom.
Stand up. Sorry, carry on.
But I mean, I sort of associate him most with the Disarm DSEi protests.
Yes,
but I was involved with from outside of London. I was in 2001, sort of Wombles related, and the blockades, I think either 2003, 2005, because DSEi's the arms trade exhibitions once every 2 years. Obviously, people actually based in London, the mobilisation never stops. So, like the 1 year you're actually at the protest, next year you're starting to mobilise for the next. And then he was also involved to reclaim the streets and Earth First as well. I think that's the main three.
Yeah, I mean, apparently he was at the G8 in Gleneagles in Scotland. Certainly I crossed paths with him a number of times. I was at the same events as him and I knew a lot of the same people, but I don't remember him personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me because I actually wrote his profile on Powerbase 8 years ago, so I had totally confused whether I remember them from that. And I think I get him a bit confused because his deployment also crossed over a lot with Rod Richardson.
Yes,
he was in the Wombles, and
yes.
I remember from the Wombles.
And I remember.
I think in my brain, my brain's slightly mixed up their two deployments from people that I vaguely recognised, but I didn't really know. But yeah, with the G8 thing, he was actually brought back in. Okay. So he was outside his deployment, and then he was redeployed. That's my impression, that he was going to end of his deployment, and then there were panics about the G8, and a number of undercovers were sent there, as we know. So it's 6 UK undercovers plus a whole bunch, like 6 from Germany, and probably a whole bunch of other ones we'll never know about from outside the UK as well. But he was redeployed. He had like a break and then came back in.
Yeah, I mean I guess the reason that Mitting decided that he was unremarkable is because he didn't have a sexual relationship that we know of.
No,
and I think is a very short-sighted way of deciding what's remarkable or not.
Yeah, and also it's the whole thing about the relationship sort of hierarchy. He had a very close friendship, inverted commas, with Emily Apple, was going to be giving evidence on Bishop, amongst other people.
She's not giving evidence till Welling. Simon Welling, who's giving just before him, which is in a few weeks' time. Very unusually, there have been no specific civilian witnesses about Jason Bishop's deployment giving evidence before him. We normally have a week, or at least, in some cases, we've had 2 weeks of civilian witnesses, so people that spied upon before actually hearing from the undercover officer. In this case, we've gone straight from one undercover officer in Jim Boiling 2 weeks ago, a week off, and we're straight in now with Jason Bishop.
I guess that's just scheduling thing, I guess.
I mean, I disagree entirely. I mean, I think this is just a complete it underlines the concept of it being an unremarkable deployment in the eyes of the inquiry.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense as well.
You know, I mean, I think it speaks volumes that Peter Francis had 12 civilian witnesses before his appearance.
Yeah, I mean, I was sort of straying into stuff which has not been released yet, but I do think that probably is the view of the inquiry. That is uncontroversial. Unfortunately, a claim also repeated in Rob Evans and Paul Lewis's book, which I know Emily wasn't very happy with at the time. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, yeah, it actually underlines this whole thing is that the inquiry is supposed to be into undercover policing as a whole, but when it doesn't touch on any of the specific issues, for instance, the relationships or a miscarriage of justice, and it seems to be, oh well, we're not really going to look into this properly. It's like this is like an example of a 6-year infiltration, quite extraordinary in its own right.
Yeah, I mean, it should be interesting. I mean, I think that there's lots of moving parts about the way that he infiltrated groups, about the way they infiltrated the lives of campaigners. Just to say, there are no extra specific reporting restriction orders in place for today's hearing. As those of you who follow these hearings closely will know, that in the previous set of hearings, I got in a bit of trouble about reporting restriction orders. He will be joining remotely. We won't be able to see his face. There will be a video, but the video will just be audio only. Frustratingly, that means you won't be able to see the documents as they're called up. It'll just be a blanket screen with no further information. I don't see why the inquiry tech team can't point their cameras at other things rather than his face for the duration of his evidence, and allow the documents to be seen in order, as would be the case when someone does appear on screen. It's very frustrating and a limitation, I would say, of the inquiry. Just to say, I mean, as ever with these short videos before the start of the hearings, only about 5 people are watching, but if you are able to like and share this video, it really helps. Throughout the day, I'll be posting on X with exactly what's happening in the hearing room. If you're able to share those or join in, I mean, you can listen along on the inquiry's broadcast and engage with the hearing and make comments about it. Use the hashtag SpyCops and sort of increase the visibility of this particular.
Just one thing I did want to add, although we're not allowed to see his face, there are actually loads of images of him out in the public domain.
Yes, there are.
Makes it even more absurd.
Yes. So I mean, if you can find them very easily. There are lots of them online. There's some on the Power Base.
But yeah, I think there's a video. I don't know if that's been released into public domain, but it will be at some stage. There's a video of him like getting into a bit of an argy-bargy with the police.
Hopefully we'll try and get that out today. If you're able to share any of those photographs, maybe if you knew Jason Bishop when he was deployed, if you've got any photos of him, if you haven't already shared them with the Campaign Opposing Police Surveillance or your lawyers or anybody else, please consider sharing them today on social media. It would really help. Hopefully Dick Penderyn, who I've just seen shared this stream, will be following along, has a great track record of sharing visuals to do with deployments throughout the day. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's all. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll be doing these videos throughout the day. I'll do one during the morning break, one at lunchtime, one in the afternoon break, one at the end of the day. Yesterday, we did a recap of the last weeks of hearings about Boiling, the Jim Boiling's evidence. I'll be editing that down into a podcast episode, which will come out in the next few days. I'll make sure it comes out before the next one comes along. It's always so unrelenting, the itinerary at the inquiry. Yeah, please share any of this stuff that you come across, particularly this video, and give us a like. That would really help. Thanks for that, and we'll see you all at the first break. Cheers now.